hurdles tonight, hopping over.
Knew I couldn't go 4 months in a row.
You did? Why, somebody found something?
Yeah,
No, no, not me.
Jeez.
I haven't been at my computer all day today, so
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Okay, sorry, I didn't see anything.
I just put them in red with underline and all that stuff, so. Very,
Jackie said she changed it.
oh, she already did?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's good. Because it was very clear. It was not many, but just a few.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. But again, it's in your in basket, so
Yeah, it's,
as amended.
we're waiting for Jackie to get back. Sorry, Jackie's our clerk of the board. Oh, here
Here
she
she
is.
is. Here she comes.
All right, good evening. I am going to call the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting to order. Can we start with a roll call?
Alberto Paratori?
Aziz Hassan.
Norma Drummond?
Rocco Limatone?
Art Mahoney?
Thank you. Can I ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, 2 comments up front. There is going to be no action or discussion this evening on 2 items. That's items number 3 and number 4. So item number 3 is LEM Elite Realty, Inc., Hosner Mountain Road, and the other one is Brendan Hafeman on 17 Flanders Road. So if anybody is here for either one of those 2 topics this evening, there's not going to be any discussion at the request of each applicant. All right, both of them need additional information that this board has requested, and they haven't been able to provide it to us yet, so that's the reason why there's not going to be any discussion on either of those. So we have, our next 2 meetings are going to be Tuesday, May 26th, and Tuesday, June 23rd. The meeting on May 26th will not be here. It's going to be Grievance Day here in this room, so the grievance board will need this room. We will be at the community center. Okay, so not at the fire training center, we'll be at the community center.
Oh, right up here.
Yeah, okay, so if anybody has a public hearing that that evening, if you're set for a public hearing, please don't come here. Please remember to go to the community center on Route 82. All right, we have 1 set of minutes to approve. I'm just writing at community center so I remember to show up. We have the minutes of the meeting of Tuesday, March 24th. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
As amended.
As amended?
Amended.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Yes, Julie, sorry, you went for several months without a single correction, but, sorry. More important that the minutes be accurate than... Okay, we do have, so the way that our meetings run is the first part of our meetings are public hearings. Those are applications that this board has already reviewed. Remembering that everybody who's on their agenda is looking for something that's not allowed by code, and so it is up to this board to take into consideration the circumstances of your particular property or your particular request, and make a determination based on a whole host of factors, including, comments from your neighbors. So the first part of our meeting are public hearings. Those are 2 applications that this board has already had the opportunity to review. The neighbors have been noticed, so tonight will be an opportunity for for the neighbors of these 2 properties to tell us anything they think we should be aware of. After those 2, again, the next 2 items, number 3 and 4, will have no discussion, but items 5, 6, and 7 are all under for review, or in the case of number 7, it's going to be an update to this board of what's going on with that property. So let's get going. Item number 1, Appeal 4154, Linda Castells, 199 East Hook Road, Hopewell Junction, requesting a 20-foot sideline variance for an existing 17 by 20-foot or 340 square foot deck, and a 20-foot sideline variance for an existing 12-foot by 12-foot or 144 square foot gazebo pursuant to section 194-95 and the schedule of bulk regulations. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Ms. Castells, come on up. Come on up, whoever is with her as part of the application. So based on, we reviewed this application last month, based on what we understood then, you purchased your home in 2013. This floating deck was built in 2014, and just so you know, for anybody who's wondering, a floating deck just means it's not attached to another structure. It's not attached to a pool, it's not attached to your house, it's just a deck. Similar, it's like, think of it as a raised patio, okay? And so it was built in 2014, about 5 feet off the property line, because your contractor, what you told us was your contractor at the time recommended that because of where your septic was located, that this would be a better location for it. You have trees all around your property. What you told us last month was you thought that the property adjacent to you was a farm, Wright Farm, I think you said it was. You also mentioned that your yard is sloped, because we kind of were wondering why one side needed a railing but the other didn't, and so the property is sloped, so one side is closer to the ground. You said that this deck is about 200 feet from the road, so it's really not visible from the road, but, you know, that's...
Survey shows where it is. I guess.
Huh?
Survey shows where it is.
Yeah, exactly. So is there anything else that you think that is important for us to remember from last month? That was the highlights of what I picked up. No, nothing else?
The only thing I want to say, I can move the gazebo over.
Okay.
8 feet.
Yeah, there's a
like I told you,
gazebo
it was moved.
attached to
I
it.
can move
that-
it over, I could put dirt all around it.
Yeah,
So that's what I said last.
but it is right now attached, it says part of it. You're using it as part of the deck.
Yeah,
Part of this
sitting out,
deck. Yeah, so that's why it kind of made sense to keep it where you would be getting the most use out of it. So are there any comments or questions from board members?
I'm good.
I'm good.
None?
Okay, so is there anyone here who wishes to speak for or against the request from Linda Castells, 199 East Hook Road, Hopewell Junction, requesting a 20-foot sideline variance for an existing 17-foot by 20-foot deck and a 20-foot sideline variance for an existing 12-foot by 12-foot gazebo? Sure, come on up. There is a sign-in sheet at the podium there, so when you get a chance, if you could just print your name, just so we have it, the minutes accurately reflect.
I own the property adjacent to that.
Okay. What's your address?
Roger Wright, that's my name.
Okay.
How close is that going to be to my property?
Which property do you own?
Right next door.
What's your address? Right, left, behind it, in front of it? I don't know.
It's to be on the north side of their house, of their garage.
What number is yours?
This is the second variance.
Why don't you show me this side? So this is
Where's the Wright's property?
so this is,
Excuse me.
East Hook Road. Right here, this is all my property.
this is your property
All-
right here?
Yeah, all that.
Okay, so on the side of the garage.
This is the second variance I've come to for that house. The house was built in about 1953, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And my concern is, in the past, everybody wants to get rid of their stuff on my property. That's one complaint. Now, we don't use that land right now. But I was just wondering how close this is going to go to my boundary there, this, whatever they're building, gazebo.
There's nothing new being built. Apparently they built 12 years ago a deck that they built it without a permit, and they built it without any approvals, and so now they are trying to get the approvals to be able to keep that
This
deck.
is for approval for what they want to build there now?
They don't want to build anything else. They're not talking about building anything.
I know
It's
there's
there
a-
now. It's already been
There's a swimming pool
built.
added to it in the last few years, because I don't go, I live a half a mile from there, so I don't get over that way too much. And, and I believe where they want to talk, or talking about, is by the garage.
It's behind the garage, so
It's alongside of the garage.
it's behind the garage, so closer to the road. You know what? You got it? Yeah, if we can show you the survey that we've been given.
Just trying to show you. So here's the garage.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all the way back here.
And because
it's
the,
already there.
because the garage is in front of it, that's one of the reasons the deck is not visible from the road, because the
Now,
garage is actually
Where
blocking
is the
it.
swimming pool?
Over here, see?
All right.
See this round thing?
Now, here, in fact, one day, lady took me by there, and I seen this white thing along, seen me close to the house, not in the back where the swimming pool.
Okay, so
There
here's
is-
the pool, and then the gazebo and the deck is over to the
There's a
right.
little thing down in there now, I showed us, down in the end of the property line there.
Okay.
Because, lady, I've been there for pretty near 93 years on this property, so I know pretty much what's going on.
Yeah, so it's already there, so they're not looking to build anything new.
There's nothing going to be alongside of the house.
Over here, that's not what they're here for, nothing along here. What they're here for is a little further back.
Little thing in the back,
Yes.
and there's nothing alongside, there's going to be,
We can ask them that question and make sure there's nothing there, but
the distance between the property, I mean, they can build right up against my property?
no. So they're asking for, how much are they asking?
5 feet, 5.
So they have to be 25 feet in?
Yeah.
And they're 20 feet in, is that correct?
It's a deck, not a patio. Right.
Oh, so, yes, yeah.
It's, I'm,
Matt, it has to be 25 feet in, right? I don't have my paper.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
they have to be 25 feet from my property?
And what was built is only 20 feet
It's
from
only
your
20 feet,
property.
So they're asking for a 5-foot variance.
So it's 5 feet.
No, it's 5 feet from the
It's
property.
5 feet, they
So they're
need
asking for
20.
20-foot variance, it's the opposite.
Reverse.
So they're going to be 5 feet in, and they're asking for a 20-foot variance. So they're going to be 5 feet in from the property line.
Well,
And it's there already, so if you see what's there.
well, I'll have to go, I had my son go over there, and he didn't even mention about that. I was concerned, I seen
About something
something
in
up,
here?
up in here one day when I went by there, because
Okay.
the lady took me by there.
So we can ask them about that. We can ask if anything's up in here.
Because I've got many, many years here, so I pretty well know what's happening in town.
Okay, good. All
And
right.
in fact, the Wright family is older than the town of East Fishkill.
Good to know. Did he write his name down? Okay. So if we could just ask the applicant to come on up and just address the questions that were raised. You're not proposing any new construction at this point. There's nothing that will be going alongside the house, right?
Nothing.
Okay, we just want to be sure that the neighbor is aware of that and had his question answered, okay?
Whatever's there now is
Good.
staying there now.
That's-
Nothing new
Let's
is
just be
being
sure,
built.
that's fine. Is there anyone else here who wishes to speak? Okay, so seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This is appeal number 4154. Applicant is Lydia Castells, requesting a 20-foot sideline variance from the requirements of section 194-94 of the Town Code and the Schedule of Bulk Regulations for an existing 17 feet by 20 feet, 340 square foot deck, and a 20-foot sideline variance from the requirements of section 194-107 of the Town Code and the Schedule of Bulk Regulations for an existing 12 feet by 12 feet, 144 square foot gazebo, the variances. Resolution offered by zoning board member Aziz Hassan, whereas the applicant seeks 20 feet variance from an existing deck and an existing gazebo that encroaches into the required sideline setback. And whereas the deck and gazebo have already been constructed on the property, and whereas the property is constrained by its configuration and existing improvements, including an above-ground pool, limiting the ability to relocate the structures in compliance with the applicable setback requirements. And whereas this is a action under type 2, action under SECRA, and requires no further environmental review. And whereas the legal notice of the public hearing was duly published in the Southern Duchess News on April 22nd, 2026, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals held a public hearing on March 24th,
April
April 24th.
28th.
April 28, 2026, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals finds that the granting of the variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, nor create a detriment to nearby properties, as the structures are existing and coexistent with the residential accessory structures within the area. The desired benefit cannot be achieved by other means, as relocation would require removal and reconstruction of the existing structures, and no compliant alternative location exists on the property due to its configuration and existing improvements, including an above-ground pool. The variance may be deemed substantial, but such substantiality is mitigated by the limited size of the structure, their placement on the property, and the absence of any demonstrated adverse effect on adjoining properties. The variances will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental condition in the neighborhood. While the need of the variances may be considered self-created, such factors are not determinative and does not outweigh the other consideration supporting approval. Now therefore be it resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals hereby approves the request of Linda Castells for a 20-foot sideline variance from the requirement of section 194-94 of the Town Code and the Schedule of Bulk Regulations for an existing 17 feet by 20 feet, 340 square foot deck, and a 20-foot sideline variance from the requirements of section 194-107 of the Town Code and the Schedule of Bulk Regulations for an existing 12 feet by 12 feet, 144 square foot gazebo. Be it further resolved that this determination is based upon the specific facts and circumstances of this application and shall not be construed as establishing a precedent for other applications. Be it further resolved that within 5 business days of the adoption of this resolution, the chair or other duly authorized member of the zoning board shall cause a copy of the resolution to be filed with the town clerk and a copy sent to the applicant owner.
Okay, before we ask for a second on this, I'm just noticing there's a difference in the code citation here. So the resolution is using 194-94. The heading of our agenda is 194-95.
Yeah, I think we looked it up after seeing that it was a detached. It was under 107, not 95.
So but how about the 194-94? For the 20-foot sideline variance? Is it 194-94 or 194-95?
Oh, let me look,
The resolution is for under 2 sections.
Yeah, it's citing
107 and 94. And public hearing is for
95.
95 as advertised.
I'm looking to. Trying to.
Is yours working,
Yeah, almost.
Slow.
Just going really slow.
It's fine, take your time.
3 different
More
sections.
important to get it right than it is worrying about how
Yeah.
fast the internet is.
Let's clean it up.
So it wouldn't be 95,
Okay,
Okay.
so it's 94.
Okay. So the resolution is correct.
Porches
The
and
heading
decks.
in our agenda is not. That's fine.
Correct. That's
Okay.
correct. We noticed that that was
194 is
wrong.
porches
Yes.
and decks.
So is there a second for the resolution that's been offered?
Okay, just want to make sure before we do that, so that we have got two sections, 94, and 94-107. So the
194, 94.
No, we have got two of them.
I know, but you said 94. It's 194,
Yeah, I mean
94.
I mean 194-94 and 195-4-107. So both of those
Because one is for the, one is
One is for an
for,
accessory
Correct.
structure.
right.
One is for the
They're two
deck.
different
Correct.
variances that are needed.
So as advertised was for 194-95, which was incorrect. So we advertised it for one section, but our resolution is for two separate, different sections.
Correct. 194-94 and 194-107. Correct.
Okay.
So
But the resolution is correct. So do I have a second on the resolution?
Second.
Votes as follows: Aziz.
Aye.
Rocco.
Aye.
Alberto.
Aye.
Art.
Aye.
And myself, aye. So your motion carries. Matt, they now deal with you, right, to get all this permitted?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so now you'll just deal with the building department, to just make sure you have all the appropriate permits and CCs in place. Okay? Have a good
At
evening.
least there's no more snow.
All right, item number 2, Appeal 4157, Christine Otero, 12 J Lane, Hopewell Junction, requesting an 11-foot sideline variance for an existing 16-foot by 28-foot or 448-square-foot detached garage pursuant to Section 194-107 and the Schedule of Bulk Regulations. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so Christine Otero, or who's ever here for that application. There you are, okay. So last month, we had the opportunity to review the application. This garage, I'm putting garage in quotes because as you described it, it's really a shed, but it has a roll-up door, and so because of the nature of it, we have to call it a garage. It was constructed in the summer of 2022. Your house has an existing two-bay garage, but you clearly said to us that you're using this for storage of outdoor furniture and other accessories related to, the outdoor use of your home. And your survey clearly shows us that your neighbor has a garage pretty identical in location on their property, so it is within the character of the neighborhood for accessory structures like this to be located where they are.
Yes.
Are there any comments or questions from board members?
I'm good.
I have no comments. Have none.
So is there anyone here who wishes to speak for or against the request from Christine Otero, 12 J Lane, Hopewell Junction, requesting an 11-foot sideline variance for an existing 16-foot by 28-foot detached garage? Seeing none, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Very good.
Appeal number 4157, applicant Christine Otero. Excuse me. Location is 12 J Lane, Hopewell Junction, the property. Resolution is read by Alberto Paratori, zoning board member. Whereas the applicant seeks an 11-foot sideline variance from the requirements of Section 194-107 of the Town Code Schedule of Bulk Regulations for the existing 16 by 28 feet, 448 square feet detached garage. Whereas the detached garage is existing, located toward the rear of the property, and whereas the property is constrained by size, existing improvements including a pool, an overall layout, limiting the ability to relocate the structure in compliance with the applicable sideline setback requirements, and whereas this is a Type 2 action under SECRA and requires no further environmental review. And whereas the legal notice of the public hearing was published in the Southern Dutchess News on April 22nd, 2026, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals held a public hearing on March 24th,
April
28th, 2026, and whereas the Zoning Board of Appeals finds that the granting of the variance will not produce an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood nor create a detriment to nearby properties as the structure is existing and the detached garage is consistent with residential accessory structures within the area. The desired result could not be achieved by other means, as relocation would require removal and reconstruction of the existing structure, and due to the property configuration and existing improvements, including a pool, relocation is impractical. The variance is not substantial and relates only to the modest accessory structure. The variance will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions. While the alleged difficulty may be considered self-created, such factor is not determinative and does not outweigh the other considerations supporting approval. Now therefore, let it be resolved that the Zoning Board of Appeals hereby approves the request of Christina Taro for an 11-foot sideline variance from the requirements of Section 194-107 of the Town Code and a Schedule B of regulations for an existing 16 by 28 foot, 448 square feet detached garage. Be it, be it further resolved that the determination is based upon the specific facts and circumstances of this application and should not be construed, as establishing a precedent for other applications. Be it further resolved that within 5 business days of the adoption of this resolution, the chair or other duly authorized member of the zoning board shall cause a copy of a resolution to be filed by the town clerk and a copy sent to the applicant owner.
Is there a second?
Second.
Votes as follows: Aziz?
Aye.
Rocco? Aye. Alberto?
Aye.
Art?
Aye.
And myself, aye. So your motion carries, you're all set. Now you just deal with the building department to make sure, again, you get all the appropriate permits, okay? Have a good evening. All right, as I said previously, there's not going to be any action tonight on items 3 or number 4, both of them at the applicant's requests, as they try to get this board additional information that we need. So item number 5 is Appeal 4158, Christopher Scotto, 9 Barrett Drive, Hopewell Junction, requesting a special use permit for a professional in-home office pursuant to Section 194-90. Good evening. So, last month we had the first discussion with you about what you were looking for. And we did ask, because you brought to our attention that there is another like business operating in town, and that somehow, somewhere it got approvals, somebody thinks it got approvals from this town. And nowhere in our town records can we find any such approvals. But that aside, you gave us citations, I went online at least, went under the federal firearms license, and found not just the one that you were talking about, but there's actually, there's another one.
I sent it to Jackie to send to you. I sent you a whole file.
Yeah, so there are additional businesses now, but as you, in your email, you said that they operate under the FFL1, and you're looking to get the FFL7. So you're looking for a more inclusive license. You're looking to be able to do more activities than what they are limited to, correct? Or am I not understanding? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I am looking to do a different type of FFL. So
Okay.
the FFL7 allows me to do the upper and lower, which they cannot do.
Right,
I don't want to deal in pre-manufactured firearms, which is what they do.
okay,
They sell those from the dealer to the client, and that's it. They're not able to do what I can do. That's the only portion of it.
that's what makes the difference, okay,
That's the only
good,
thing I'm
okay. So what we talked about last time was the fact that a good portion of your property is in the floodplain development area.
Yes.
And you said some of the activity that you would be looking to do would be happening in the shed that's in that floodplain development. I did have a discussion with Rick Witt, one of our previous town engineers, because he used to issue the permits for the floodplain development, and he said he's not so much worried about the chemicals that would be happening and them getting into any kind of water body or anything like that, but more the floodplain development, any damage that could happen to that structure in the event of a flood, because if it's in an area that may be likely to flood at some point. So at least I have a little bit more comfort that we're not going to be having anything that you're doing here would not be contaminating the water bodies or anything like that. When we were here last, the only thing that kind of worried me was that you said you were looking to do certain things, but that you're just pretty much looking to start this out and you want to grow this. You want to eventually leave the job that you have, your full-time job now, and do this more full-time. And so, but on the other hand, you also said you would restrict what you would do based on what this board wanted or didn't want. I think what we have to consider is, if you are successful, because there are only 3 or maybe 4 businesses like this in town, the potential that you would have of doing all of the eligible activities under your license, we should be considering that. Because if you're successful and you grow, you're likely to be doing that. And there's the enforcement on the town officials to enforce whether you're allowed to do this or you're not allowed to do that, would just be a tremendous burden. So the only thing, well, I think the biggest concern that you've already addressed was your ability to do resale sales. And what you have said to us last month was that in the event that you were actually selling a firearm to anybody, because you're not going to have display cases in your property or anything like that, but in the event that you actually were selling something or transferring that, you would be meeting at the police station or in some other place that likely has cameras to make sure the transaction is all, nothing goes bad with it, okay? So nothing of that sort, no retail sales would be occurring at your property beyond the transaction, the paper transaction of it per se, as opposed to the exchange of those goods, right?
The actual firearm that would build, the transaction, I believe that all things have to be done at the premises.
Right.
For the ATF. So the transfer wouldn't be for if you buy it online and you have it transferred to me. That I'm not doing. I put in there that I'm partnering with Red Leg Supply down in Yorktown Heights, and I left that information there as well.
Right.
They're gonna handle anybody that comes to me and they say, I want a stock of this. They can go there and do that. He can take care of everything they need from sales to accessories.
Okay.
I partnered with Rich down in Fishkill. He owns Rem Arms, and he is going to do all my Cerakoting, so I will not be in the shed.
Okay.
So everything that I'm going to be doing is in a dedicated side of my garage, which over the last 2 weeks since I got back from Miami, I turned into an actual workshop.
Okay.
So everything is in there. The only transfers that would take place is if you decided that you wanted me to build you something.
Oh, not me, that's for sure.
You haven't even seen them yet.
Nope.
But
I am not a firearms person, not by
say
any
you
means.
did and you wanted to come to me, then that's the transfer that I would do. It
Okay.
wouldn't be a transfer online, and I have to do the same paperwork and keep the same files forever that everybody else does.
Well,
from the
would that be happening at your residence, or would that be in a public?
Well, my residence also has to have cameras that
Okay.
record, and security, the storage has to be for 2 years per New York State. So
Okay.
that's every single entrance and exit out of my house, and inside where the transactions are taking place. So above my computer, there's cameras that record into my NVR, and those have to stay for at least 2 years so you can go
Wow.
back onto them.
Wow.
There's a lot of money that you have to put into this because it doesn't work off a regular NVR. You have to add a bigger terabyte hard drive.
Got it. Okay.
So those things are taking place, but again, if it's somebody that's local to us, that's like, I want to get this done, if somebody lives in another town, it's easier for me just to box it up and ship it or drive it to that firearms dealer and just give it to them. And then they can do the transfer paperwork from me to them.
Okay. What I'm trying to get at is
Yeah.
for your neighbors to understand what's the likelihood of strange cars wandering in and out of the neighborhood every day up to your and into your driveway onto your property to be doing any type of transactions in that way. It sounds like extremely limited if it happens at all.
Yes.
That's what I was just trying to get at, to assure any of your neighbors that this is not a business that's going to be generating a lot of traffic or a lot of visitors to your home.
At my home, no.
Okay.
Not at all. And to address one thing that you did bring up the last time, you were worried that if you did approve this, that if I decided to go to brick and mortar in the future, now I would give up that. I would always keep this one.
Oh,
So this
okay.
one would be here, which allows me to, if I have to work on something and I have to bring it from the shop, it's easier to do it that way because I don't have to transfer it to somebody else.
Got it.
And I don't have to just work on it there. I can get it done faster.
Okay.
So that's all I want to tell you.
Okay, so we get back to the issue of how do we, it doesn't fit as an occupation under the town code. Right? That's the accessory professional offices. So it's, the town, the zoning board of appeals may grant a special permit for professional offices of a physician, attorney at law, dentist, engineer, architect, teacher, artist, musician, or other members of a recognized profession or trade in residential districts. Is this considered?
We have a determination from the town attorney, I believe. Let's see, double check.
No, that's from Matt, that's saying it's not.
Okay, from Matt, with the CC.
That's what brought them here,
Correct.
Right.
So they have already made a determination.
not our attorneys. I'm asking our attorneys.
Okay, okay,
Okay? Matt made a determination, that's what brought Mr. Scotto here to our board.
okay, okay.
And so he has the right to appeal that determination.
Okay.
That's why he's here.
Yeah, they
So
told me I
with
had to
our
deny.
attorneys, the question I'm asking is, based on what we've now learned, do we feel that this might meet in the classification of a trade?
Right. And that's what I underlined in this, under 19490, whether or
Right.
not this would be a trade, and based on some of the more specific details that he's included, whether or not that would qualify. I mean, it seems as if with some of the information he's provided, that it would then fall within, a gunsmithing sort of trade.
Okay.
It'd be nice to know if we had any documentation in the past. I don't know what we have that has categorized. It's a very generic term,
It is,
right?
yes.
Which makes it difficult to quantify, right?
So, but if this is, so I'm asking that as a single board member, I am asking that question of whether it could potentially. Now, I think what I think our board needs to do is still conduct a public hearing, right? To make sure that if any member of the public wants to agree or disagree with our interpretation.
There's one other thing in that
Okay,
section.
go ahead.
There's, so if we try to define it as a trade, the only other part that's mentioned in 19490
Right.
is that retail sales
Retail
are not
sales.
authorized.
Right.
So that's another.
caveat.
That's another wrinkle,
Right.
I would say.
Because you go through it and you
But
say,
he need-
number
yeah.
of employees, that shouldn't be an issue.
Right, number of employees and
External evidence, it shouldn't be an issue.
Shouldn't be an issue.
It's the retail sales section. If you find that we could say it's a trade, does it pass that?
All right, but this section shall not authorize any form of retail sales as part of a professional office.
But we have to classify it as a professional office.
We have to class it to meet this code,
To meet
this
this
part of the
code.
code.
So now, if you look at the information that I gave you based on these things, a lot of these FFLs that I sent you that are in town, they have online stores, so they're reselling also, but not to the extent that I want to. Mine's like a one-on-one kind
Yeah,
of.
yours is very limited, what you've described to us.
I'm not gonna have.
Because it's
like I
very
said,
custom,
yes,
it's very, you're
very
gonna-
niche.
you're going to be spending more time actually putting together the
I'm gonna be
pieces
building
of
and
things.
manufacturing, not so much retail sales. The only reason why I set up with a dealer is so that I can get better pricing on my parts. That's
You're
it.
more gunsmithing.
Yes, it's more all the manufacturing portion of it because of the upper and lower going onto the top. That's what they class it
And
as.
these are already firearms that belong to someone, or
No, that would be the gunsmithing portion of it if somebody wanted to change something. But as far as the manufacturing portion,
in
is
the
the
town
upper and
code?
lower of a, say an AR-15 or AR-10 to go onto each other, that's manufacturing. You take a stock for an M14 and you put the barrel onto it, now it's manufacturing.
All
That
right,
would be the extent of it.
thank you. So I go back to our attorney and to Matt for guidance, because the zoning board's allowed to grant a special permit, except it doesn't look like we have the ability to waive the retail sales.
Right, and that's why I was just looking up in the code to see if there was anything specific defining retail sale.
Sales, we're looking up.
Right,
So when an attorney or an engineer provides services, they're billing for those services that they're providing, but that's not considered.
But they're not, you're right, they're
Right.
not.
That's not considered retail.
Nobody's walking out with something other than a
What
plan.
if they walk out with the plans? 'Cause
Yeah,
they pay
other
for
than
the
a plan.
plans.
They've walked out, that's what I'm getting at. They're still paying for a service, they're still getting something, a deliverable
Walking- yep.
from there.
Out with plans.
But I think the word retail, the way I see it, refers more to a brick and mortar.
And the display case and things of that, where somebody can come in and browse and can I
Right.
peruse what you have and then buy, oh, I want this one and that one,
You
you know?
can do that online if we go over what you wanted to do for it, I can purchase that and have it shipped to me, and then I put it on. And you don't come in and find a holster that you like. There's not going to be stacks of barrels and you pick the barrel that you want. Like, we'll do that via conversations that we have either on the phone or Zoom. And then I show them what's available to them, and then we make it happen from there. But they don't come.
They're not spending the time at your
You're not
home
going to
while
car
they're doing
dealership and
this.
picking up
It's
the
like someone on
phone.
Etsy making stuff in their house and mailing it
Right.
out.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if our attorney
I
has.
mean, the only thing I would say too is that, retail sale, to me, in looking it up too, is when the general public
Right.
can come and consume, and doesn't seem as if that's going to be the situation, so that might be, when you say retail sales, the general public should have access, which
Right.
in this situation does not seem like the general public will have access to this service.
Okay,
So I think.
I'm
he
agreeing
may-
with you.
Right.
Because there's no, like he said very clearly, there's no display,
There's no signage, there's no, right?
Right.
No walk-in traffic, appointments only if you're picking something up or dropping something off for gunsmithing.
Are you able to figure out appointment only? Is there a way that you can?
Appointment only will be, as an FFL, I can go directly to them and take possession of the firearm if need be.
Right.
Or they can meet me like at the police station and I can take possession of it there. When I do a transfer, as far as I build something, that transfer has to be done at my home.
And you don't know at this point how often that would be?
I would say if it's once or twice a month as of right now, that's a lot. Like I said, if it gets bigger
Right.
to where I don't need that, then I will look for.
He's
brick
going to
and
need brick and mortar at some point,
At
if you
some
do
point.
this full-time.
If it becomes what I think it may become, then it will be a brick and mortar and still keeping the one at the home as well.
Well, if you're doing a transfer, you're just moving paperwork for a transfer.
Yeah, transfer's just a
Yeah,
Nick
just
thing.
paper.
They literally fill it out on an iPad, and then everything is printed out from the printer. I put it in a file. Once their background check says cleared, then I'm able to give that over to them. That's it.
Okay.
And they can't do it without a permit anyway, because if it's semi-automatic, you need a semi-automatic permit in New York State. It's only bolt action and shotguns you don't need a permit for in New York, but you got to be over 20.
I have learned so much that I never thought I'd ever need to know
Not the
about,
only
but-
one.
Wow.
We all have.
All right,
Yeah, another question is that, there's a difference between FFL 1 and FFL 7. And right now, we have got at least 2-3 people, entities doing FFL 1. What prevents them from coming next month and saying, okay, I need an FFL 7 also? They're already in the same business.
well, one
they don't
would
come to
think
us
that one would think that the federal government would say you need some actual approval
They
from the
would have to
town,
come
same as
back.
Mr. Scotto does.
They'd be going through the same thing. I'm
The
doing.
same
They're already
steps.
doing FFL 1 right now.
They can't switch it over without permits from you guys.
But they can do FFL 1 without a permit?
No.
No, they're
That's
supposed to have a permit
what I'm
for
trying
that
to
too.
explain. Like, I have the form here that says, like, I have to let the zoning board know. There's no way around going and getting it without the zoning board knowing. So whether or not you guys knew about it, which is something I tried to help you out with.
Right.
It's even Poughkeepsie told me if they had it, they couldn't give it to me anyway because it's sealed.
That was the sheriff's department.
Sheriff's Department, well, they sent me to sheriff, and the sheriff said the same thing. They're like, yeah, even if we had it,
Yeah.
we don't even keep the records.
He
So-
did, I mean, Mr. Scotto, to his credit, really went and did a lot of research for us because we kept saying at our last meeting, if there's others in town, show us how they got approved. And
Yeah.
nobody can figure out
Even
how they are
ATF said
operating.
if I did
Because we're
that
not going to say
Freedoms
they
Act-
got approved from anybody in town. We can't find any documentation to support that.
But the federal government is allowing them to conduct business.
Because they have something that they don't just take a letter saying that my town said it's okay. They actually contact the town to say that, did you give them permission to do this? So it's
But they've
not as-
had these permits, we don't know for how long. They've probably had them.
One I know has had it for 6 years, that's it.
Yeah.
The other ones I don't know. I just know that they're
So
in there.
we don't know what
and-
happened 6 years ago when
Okay, I was on the board and I know I didn't approve.
it didn't come here.
Correct.
Several of us were on the board, and it did not come here.
I know, okay. And
So-
the thing is, that, you know, and there it is renewed every couple, 3 years or something like that?
So you actually
how
do it
are they
every 2.5.
doing it every couple, 3 years?
So once it's approved, you don't need to come to the town to re-approve it every 3 years. It's just something that's done, you fill out your application again with the ATF, they go to the sheriff's department, they go to the local PD, they get their fingerprints done, everything is sent back you do it every 2.5 years because you want to do it 6 to 8 months before your expiration, kind of like with your pistol permit. You don't wait until like 3 days before it expires because it won't go through in time.
Okay,
Do you happen to know by any chance how long the ATF has required permission from the local government?
How long? 1968, the SAFE Act,
Okay.
the Gun Safety Act of
It's been
1968.
a long time.
Yes.
We can't,
That's
Yeah,
when
we can't find anything, that's what.
That's when they required everybody that buys a firearm to have to go through an FFL.
okay.
And that's when they started requiring the zoning boards of the towns to approve those FFLs in the town.
Okay.
but they also have,
People that have had FFLs in the past didn't have to go for any approvals from the town. I know several who haven't.
Okay,
They.
I understand that.
Not in this town. but they
okay,
didn't
I
have to.
understand that, but from what I'm learning, that anybody who has that permit, FFL1, has to periodically, every 2-3 years, go to the local.
No.
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 No. Once
for-
they've
for-
been
for-
issued the
no,
FFL.
For fingerprinting, for renewal.
Oh,
You just fill out a whole new application form, it's a renewal form, and you pay the fee. So for an FFL1, it's $200 every 3 years. For an FFL7, it's $150. And then if you have any special ordinance taxes or anything like that, you pay that.
But you still
every
have to
year.
go to the, for renewal, you have to still go to the local police department.
go to
for
the
fingerprint,
sheriff's dep- or
Or
the,
sheriff's department
State
someplace.
troopers to get your fingerprints done and stuff. You just submit a renewal application, they have all your information on there, and then they just renew it. You pay them the money. You don't have to go through this whole thing
so
every 3
yeah,
years.
you don't have to go through this.
You have to go through the filing every 3 years, but not this.
All right, based on what we've learned, are we okay setting for a public hearing for next month regarding this
I
special
mean, I
permit?
have an issue about, because once we process this application, we will have multiple other applicants, and we have seen it enough times.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure that when we go for public hearing, that we have covered our, legal opinion on this interpretation of a special use permit for a professional office.
That's part of why we would conduct a public hearing, because there may be some angle of it that we're not even thinking about, that somebody may bring to our attention. So,
Okay, if that's the case, motion to advertise.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, does he have to post a sign in his house for this?
Yes.
Because it's a special permit for for this residence, so yes, he's going to need a sign. Okay. All right. Then we'll see you next month,
All right, thank you very much.
okay?
Do I get-
Jackie.
Have a good evening.
Jackie's going to give you that.
The things that we learn up here. All right, item number 6, Curtis Winchester, Appeal 4159, 123 Loma Lane, Hopewell Junction, requesting a 27-foot front line variance for an existing 20-foot by 18-foot carport in the front yard pursuant to Section 194-107 and the Schedule of Bulk Regulations. You're not bowling tonight.
No, he's not.
You need to be here. I'm not bowling tonight because I need to be here. I'm like, where do I know Curtis
I'm
from?
pretty sure he wishes he was bowling.
Oh, come on, you learned a lot tonight, you know? All right. Just for purpose of disclosure here, Curtis and I really don't know each other beyond the fact that we bowl side by side on different teams on Tuesday evenings sometimes. And I'm not even on that league, I just sub. So anyway,
So you're competitive.
It's in a good look.
so we could be competitors, that's true. Yeah.
So you might have a hard time.
But except that, again, I'm not on that actual league and that team. I was just a long-term sub for somebody who was ill, so. All right, so that's it. There's no financial, there's no nothing else that connects us at all. So explain to, this is the first time we're seeing your application. Please explain to us what you are looking for and why a metal structure as opposed to a garage or whatever, so.
So when we bought the house in 2021, it didn't have a garage or anything covering the driveway, and, you know, it snows here a lot, and the sun beats down in the summer, so we wanted to put up a carport.
Okay.
So we bought one online and just put it up, not thinking about...
Not realizing we needed a permit.
Is there any screening in the front of your house? Is it, I mean, the issue about the metal carports is that you can see through them and they're not, you know, it's...
Yeah, you completely
They're
see
not
through.
very nice, they're not very attractive looking. And if you've been, well, you obviously haven't been here previously, but one of the things when we ask people about when they're putting in garages and other structures is, can you screen it? Can you make it look a little nicer because a carport is still, it's not a very attractive structure. So is there any, if I'm driving by Loma Lane, am I going to see this? Do I see this structure?
Yes, you would.
Because it is only 22 feet from the road, or
Right.
from the edge of your property.
Almost right to where the house is.
Is there any landscaping in the front? I mean, your driveway's in the front, so immediately I wouldn't, but if I'm coming down Loma, is there any landscaping that limits what I see?
Well, you would, the trees that you would probably block some of the view if you're coming from one direction.
Right.
From the other direction, not until you get up over the hill, and then you're level with the property, then you would see it as you get toward the end of the house. It doesn't really stick out front.
Do you have the ability to put some shrubs on the side of it to limit the metal, the visible metal
Yes,
part of it?
we actually do, yeah.
Okay,
We
all
could
right.
easily
I
do
think
that.
that would really be helpful. I mean, we did recently approve a metal carport, and the cost, the issue was cost, and, you know,
Right.
they were very clear about that.
Yeah.
And it's on Lake Walton Road, and it's, if you're looking for it, you know it's there, you can
Right.
see it. And then, you know, and so we talked with them about doing some screening and stuff like that, so.
We can plant some shrubs, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, anything to just, you know, they're not the most attractive things to look at, so.
I looked at it today
Oh,
online,
good, okay.
and it's not obtrusive, it kind of just blends in, it's like right butted up against the house.
Okay.
So it really, from a street view, it really didn't like jump out at you or anything.
It actually blocks your pool, which is nice, I'm sure. It gives you more privacy
privacy,
using your
yeah.
pool in the back there. Do your neighbors, do they object to this? It's been
Nobody
there?
has
Nothing, no.
complained or
No?
said a word. We mostly get people who
I'm just curious,
think
why
it's
are you,
okay.
what brought you here? Matt?
The pool.
Oh, the pool, okay. Got it.
the dang pool.
Yeah. So he's got a permit, he's permitting both and, you know, getting it all cleaned up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, these metal structures, they're not, the code doesn't prohibit them, right?
No, not at all.
They're just not the most attractive thing. It's like looking at those canvas structures.
Yeah.
Those are at least are only allowed for 6 months at a time, no more than 6 months at a time. And at least this is more permanent. It has a more permanent roof to it than
Yeah.
those canvas stuffs that
Yeah.
people just let deteriorate and, you
It
know,
is
don't.
definitely our more affordable option versus a $50,000 garage, which you
Sure.
can't afford, and the cars just get so hot in the summer and, you know, snow in the winter.
All right, so comments or questions
Okay,
from board members?
there's a cellar on your property. There also is in your neighbor's property
Oh,
on the
yeah,
side.
wow.
And I was wondering, what is that about?
The
I'm sorry, I
underground
didn't-
cellar. Come on up real quick and take a look at the survey that you gave us. Yeah, really. It says cellar underground, and there's a door to it, right on the border of your property.
Oh, I think that's Mike's, that are our neighbors. We have no idea what that is.
The Zubinis?
It's half on your property and half on his.
Over there, it's in, oh, wow.
It was there only.
Aziz caught it, I didn't even see it.
I didn't notice it.
Zubinis
All
on it?
right, I don't know.
Zubinis on it?
That's where the beer is kept.
That's what the
Wish I had known that. We'll have to ask Mike, our neighbor, because I really don't know. I mean, I've seen the latch,
And I've seen
but
him go in it.
Oh, you have?
Oh, okay.
Ooh, maybe it's a bomb shelter or something.
It straddles both of your property.
Probably has 70-inch TV and a couch.
We can ask him, I don't know, I have no idea.
Thank you for catching that. I didn't
So
see
it
it.
is not on your
How
property.
do
I mean,
we
it's on
deal
your
with-
property, but it is not your.
How do we deal with if his neighbor has a structure encroaching on his property?
Right. I mean, it shouldn't
It's not,
encroach.
if it's not theirs encroaching on the neighbor's property,
Right.
that would be a violation.
Right.
This
This
if
is the
it's
neighbor.
encroaching on them.
Right.
Which, you know, if he gets along with his neighbor, but at some point in the future, it could be a problem. If the neighbor tries to sell and somebody picks that up on a
Well,
search.
then because that door literally straddles both property too,
Yeah.
the cellar door. Although I think it's more on your property than his, for what it's worth. All right, as long as it's not, you don't believe it's your structure, you're not
That is something
encroaching on your
between you
neighbor.
and your neighbor,
Right.
motion to advertise.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So we will see you next month. Jackie will give you information about the sign that you'll need to post on your property. Okay. All right, and bowling will be over by then, so you won't have missed another
It's
night.
over tonight.
I know, it's the last night.
And you can talk to your neighbors about that,
Yeah, we'll ask
or
him
start charging them rent or
if it's a
something.
man cave, we want to use it.
A man cave.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Nope, 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 no, 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 no.
Take it easy.
Sorry.
Not yet, Aziz.
Don't worry.
We have one
Item
more.
number 7, Appeal 4080, Timothy Williams, 535 Route 376, Hopewell Junction, requesting a 2-foot sideline variance and a 20-foot rear line variance for a proposed 24-foot by 16-foot or 384 square foot first floor and 336 square foot second floor, total of 720 square feet. 2-story detached garage, an 11-foot sideline variance for the existing dwelling, a 25-foot front line variance for an existing front covered porch, and a 6% lot coverage variance pursuant to the schedule of bulk regulations of the zoning ordinance. Good evening. So, the issue is that when this resolution, and Jackie, did we actually get copies of the resolution that this board approved? Okay. When this board approved your garage, okay, one of the issues that was raised during the public hearing, you probably remember this, is your neighbor who was complaining about how long it took you to complete the vinyl siding that you were doing on your house.
No vinyl, cement.
Well, the siding that we were doing, that you were replacing on there. And so we took that into consideration as we considered our approval. And so we actually put a caveat in your resolution that if the detached garage, this is one of the conditions, if the detached garage does not obtain a certificate of completion for the proposed detached garage within 9 months of the date of this decision and order, then the applicant shall be required to appear before the zoning board at its next available meeting. The date of this resolution was,
October 24th.
thank you, October 24th, 2023. Okay? So we are now 2.5 months, 2.5 years later, not well beyond the 9 months.
It took me a year to get the building permit to build it.
When did you apply for the building permit?
I had to tear down the original garage first.
So you got a demolition permit first, which was one of the requirements,
It was
correct?
deemed the age of the building, I needed to get a specialty demo company to come and take it down because it could have had lead and it could have had asbestos.
Okay,
Okay, so that took me a good amount of time. Plus I had to have my site review, then I got my silt fence inspection, then I got my surveyor out there to stake my corners,
okay.
okay? Then I got the place taken down,
Right.
foundation dug out. This is, so, to actually start building and getting my footings in, I didn't get my building permit until September 5th of 2024.
Okay. So you're already a year
Already a
beyond the resolution. Okay.
Yeah, so I spoke
So
with the
that
building
is,
inspector.
that's now a year and a half ago.
I was dealing with the building inspector,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, I know, I see it, just keep going, keep going,
Okay.
keep going. I got to 2025, I renewed my permit for the 6 months that you give me.
Right.
I lost 4.5 months to snow. The holes are there, the deck was gonna be supported, the handrails were gonna go on. I came back from vacation, and the snow was still in my driveway, or snow was still in my yard. The metal roof dumped 3 feet of snow right where the footings are for the whole winter.
Okay, so this past winter?
Yes, but there was a long period. Plus, there were some personal things that happened during the way that prohibited me from going fast.
Okay.
If you want to step outside, I'll tell you what those
No,
are,
no,
but
no,
I'm not
I'm-
saying them on TV.
I'm not looking necessarily for that. What we are looking for, again, your neighbor was extremely concerned, as you probably remember, about just how long it takes. As you know, because we've said this before, the property is quite visible. I
Everybody
was
sees-
walking on the rail trail one evening, and I happened to see a lamp in the window of the second floor, and I'm like, well, that's interesting, because the stairs don't even have a railing on them yet. So why would there be a lamp on in the evening upstairs? And again, the size of it's not, the upstairs is 336 square feet.
Not living
I
there.
can't imagine somebody's living up there, but there was a lamp that was clearly sitting on something, and the lamp was on at 7 o'clock at night in the evening. So it just kind of just raised a
Run
red
off of an
flag.
extension cord, and it was a gift from my son-in-law. It's the Christmas Story leg lamp. It was on a timer that goes on at 5 o'clock and goes off at midnight. Nobody's up there. If you looked up the driveway, all you saw was the leg lamp in the 2 windows.
Okay, see, and I was on the rail trail, so
Nobody's
that's
living
all
up
I
there.
saw. I didn't see a leg.
It was in homage to the gift, and that's what it was purchased for.
Okay,
So-
but I'm going to go back to, this board did not approve exterior stairs, and somehow exterior...
That's what I was going to say, there was a plan
Somehow the
revision.
garage...
Plan revision,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Rob and I discussed it. He approved it. He says as long as I did a as-built or an addition, so I went back to my architect and got a few things redone. I got those plans re-stamped.
Okay.
So they're on record. I've had footing inspections, block inspections. I've had preliminary framing inspection. I've had the
Well,
outside.
you're beyond preliminary plan.
Excuse me?
You're beyond preliminary framing at this point, right?
I
It's
still haven't
there.
had, I still haven't had, no, because I discussed with my architect something I would like to do.
Okay.
He put it on the plans.
Oh,
So when we did the review, or the revision for the stairs on the outside, because if I had put the stairs inside, you wouldn't be able to fit a car in it.
okay.
Because it was going to come down to a landing, come across, come down to a landing, and it would have taken up 3 to 4 feet of a 16-foot wide garage. You wouldn't have been able to fit a car.
Okay.
And that was just error. Plus, I don't have the room to get it any wider. You know, I have no yard left as it is. So he said I could put it on the outside, I could put the door in. We framed it that way. I got the plans reviewed. And that's where we're at. Basically, that the railing would have been on, the footings would have been inspected.
But for winter. Okay, but at this point, you have an expired building permit.
100%.
So,
I was away when it expired.
no, that's fine, that's fine. And the building department at this point, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, would only issue a 90-day permit, correct?
Yeah, that's all, yeah, all they can do now is a 90-day renewal, I think.
Can you complete the work left to do within 90 days?
No, I have to dig a trench from the house to get the electric in. Then I have to wire it and sheet rock it and paint it and get a CO. Plus, part of my CO is the catchment system in the driveway.
Beyond, I don't know what you're talking
That's
about.
what I'm saying. We're collecting the rainwater and I have to have a
Oh,
dry
okay,
well.
okay.
I
So
have to have a
stormwater
dry well.
management.
That catchment system's been on back order. I may have to either change it or see if they have one in stock. You know, you see the size of the driveway. I have to get 6 cars out of that driveway and tear it up to put that in, so that was gonna be last. I have the leader drains in, I have the leader drains down, but it's collecting the rain from my house, it's collecting the rain from the drive, you know, from the
Structure, yeah.
new structure.
Right.
Into a 1,700-gallon holding tank to be reclaimed, and then the overflow goes into a 600-gallon dry well, because there's no drainage on the street.
Right, okay. So how much, realistically, how much more time do you need to complete this project?
I was hoping to get it done by the end of the summer, before the fall.
what's left on the siding?
Done.
The siding looks fine.
But, yeah, the siding-
Actually, I like it. It looks very
I
nice.
paid for the renewal for the. so
For the siding?
As soon as you release that, Rob's already has in the portal.
Yeah.
He's already looked at it. As soon as I pay for it, he can come out and inspect it. So that permit can go.
So that's one thing, and that will help the neighbor, knowing that at least the siding project got finished.
Right.
But-
They got their own issues, so, you know.
Well, but
Yeah,
you
but
know,
we
they
had to
raised it
take-
here, they brought it to our attention, and so, in good faith, we
Well, good faith.
tried to make it work for them, because, you know,
100%.
neighbors' objections could be a reason to not approve this, but we did give you
What,
the
am I
approval.
gonna tear it down?
No. We
Or do we
did give you,
stop?
we did give you the approval, and so that's why it was just made sense to have you come back in, because we specifically said, you know, let's just see, find out what's going on.
100%.
So he can't get, if he can only get 90 days, May 1st gives him May, June, and July, but he needs August and September probably?
Can I renew it again, or do I have to go for a whole new permit?
No.
I think it's a whole new permit after the 90-day renewal, right? You get 2 6-months and then a 90, but they have to be concurrent. They can't be a gap in time.
I thought it was,
I got to get answers from the administrator of the department. I don't know exactly what leeway she might have.
right, so I can't go forward, I can't put a handrail on it, I can't put the footers up, and I can't put the supports on the deck, because I'm in violation, but yet it's gonna sit there in violation.
So we've got, I mean, that building, the structure is not safe without the handrails on those
Nobody goes up
stairs.
there.
Those are steep. Okay, because the light's on a timer. Okay.
I could have, I could definitely have that deck, you know, if I got the 3 months, I could definitely have that thing you know.
So it's the stormwater management system that would not be completed
gonna be
in the
the-
3 months.
That's gonna, yeah, that's another whole $10,000 worth of shipped up from Georgia only.
Question, can that be done on a separate permit?
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's either that or I was
Is that
gonna
part
go-
of this permit,
Yes,
the stormwater management or the?
yeah, that was part of the site review. Because I had to mitigate, I was the one that put the catchment in because I wanted to reclaim the water. If I had just put in a dry well, we'd be done. It's that piece. If I can go back and revise it and take that piece out, I could definitely have it done. But I really want it, but it's gonna
Oh,
take.
But
okay, all
that,
right.
but that would include the trench for the electric and everything? You could have all the
The guy was
wiring
coming
done?
that weekend to do the trench when it snowed. We put him off because it snowed, and what'd we get? We got two 2-foot snowstorms,
Right.
kind of back to back, and it
Right.
ruined everything.
Right. All right, Lowell, let me dig through this tomorrow and over the next couple of days. Rob should be back in the office. He's been out the last couple of days, but I'll review it with him and
Okay.
we'll,
Do we need to have Mr. Williams come back again, or, because it's not?
no, I can reach out to him after I get answers from him.
Okay.
It's fine.
I mean, this board's gotten the update that I think we needed, unless, does anybody else have any other questions for Mr. Williams?
The shell and the building itself is not changing anymore. It's complete. It's painted.
Yeah.
You know, the roof's on it, it's complete.
Except it's going to get
Except for the stairs and
the handrail on the stairs.
That's sitting at Williams Lumber, $3,000 worth of aluminum handrail to go down, you know, my garage mahal, you know? That's what it's turning into. When I'm done, it's gonna be
It looks
worth more than
nice.
my house.
It does look nice, you're doing a great job with it, but it's just, okay. All right, so
Well,
he
we'll
does
see
not
if
need
we
to
can-
come back to us.
We'll see if we can bifurcate the two things, separate the finishing the garage from the other underground stuff.
Let's just say if it's not done by October, we need an update, okay?
For all of it, can we piece it out?
That's what I'm trying to do, bifurcate it. Get the garage part done under the next 90 days.
Because if I focus on the inside, getting the electric done, getting it sheet rocked, you know, finished, I can get a CO on the building.
Right.
And then I can get a CO on the outside.
If we can, if Matt can do that.
100%.
All right.
I understand.
All right,
I'll give you a
So I
call.
mean, basically, you're going to have everything done by like September, or are you looking at October, like 3 months, 3 months?
Honestly, can't tell you because of that piece that I put on the plan,
the catchment system.
the catchment system.
if he can't even get the equipment
Yeah,
that
so I
he
mean,
needs, that's
again-
what's beyond, it's beyond his control, is what it sounds like. But then if you reach a point where you just can't get it, then I would
I'll have to
think,
run-
then
if
I
I-
think you switch your plans and you just go back to the system that doesn't
I'll
collect
gladly
it.
put in a
where
dry
you-
well, but they're telling me that it's kind of too hard to try to cut the SDR and try to put this tank in later, or the drainage for the leaders.
Right,
It's too hard to try to put in. It's a big tank.
okay. All right, so you do not need to return unless we get to October and
Okay.
there's still a major issue going on.
I'll keep communicating, but I was under the impression that if I just kept plugging forward and making progress and making it pretty,
Yeah, no, we're good.
from the building department, that's all.
Well, Rob wasn't aware of the time frame, that 9 months. I don't think he was aware of that,
Okay,
but,
okay.
he doesn't sit through these meetings and
No.
hear what
goes
the
back to
conditions. All right, we'll get it sorted.
All right,
All set?
thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn.
all in favor? Aye.
You want to adjourn, Aziz?
No, I didn't have any.